Welcome guys, and I'm really excited to bring you this part of the Yu-Gi-Oh series. Battle City deck profiles, starting off with the Yugi Battle City deck profile. Rightio, let's get straight into this, shall we? Starting of course with one of my favourite monsters of all time, the Dark Magician. 2500 attack, 2100 defense, the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense, and you saw this card throughout Battle City in many different situations. One of my favourite duels in Battle City was against Arcana, when Yugi had to use Dark Magician in so many different situations to get out of sticky situations. And yeah, pretty iconic card. Next up we have the Dark Magician Girl. 2000 attack, 1700 defense. Very good effect as well. This card gains 300 attack for every Dark Magician or Magician, a black house in either player's graveyard. You only get the additional 300 points because we've only got one Dark Magician in the deck, but still a pretty cool card. Next up we have the God card. I've only opted to put Scythe of the Sky Dragon in this deck because obviously Yugi uses it throughout the tournament. He uses, I believe, Obelisk in the duel against Merrick. But just the one God card, and of course Merrick and Kyber will have their God cards in their respective decks, but pretty powerful card if you can get it onto the field. Another one of Yugi's iconic monsters is of course the Summoned Skull. 2500 attack, 1200 defense. We've added Valkyrion, the Magnet Warrior. Pretty beastly monster actually, 3500 attack, 3850 defense. So what you need to do is get your 3 Magnet Warriors onto the field. They're going to be shown later in the profile, so you need Beta, Alpha and Gamma, and then you can get this guy onto the field. Pretty useful effect too. Next up is a very cool monster, Buster Blader. 2600 attack, 2300 defense. This card gains 500 attack for each dragon type monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard. So very useful if you're having a character deck duel against Seto Kaiba. He's got a few dragons. Next up we've got Baphomet. 1400 attack, 1800 defense. Kind of useful. It goes well with Gazelle later in the deck. While this card is normal with flip summon, you can add one Gazelle, the King of Mythical Beast, from your deck to your hand. Next up I have the iconic Jax Knight. 1900 attack, 1000 defense. So there's a combo with this, but we'll explain that when we get to the other knights in the deck. Of course you can't have a Yugi deck without the iconic Karibo. 300 attack, 200 defense. Pretty cool effect as well. During the damage calculation you can discard this card. You take no battle damage from that battle. Pretty useful, and if you're in a tight spot could save you and give you another turn. Talking about Baphomet before, and there's Gazelle, the King of Mythical Beast. 1500 attack, 1200 defense. Next up we've added one Beaver Warrior. 1200 attack, 1500 defense. Celtic Guardian, 1400 attack, 1200 defense. Feral Imp, 1300 attack, 1400 defense. So some of the Duelist Kingdom monsters made it into the Battle City deck. I did do a bit of research on it as well. They were seen in the deck, but he didn't really use these monsters too often, the last couple. But they were added just to give Yugi a bit more 4-star under monsters. Next up is the very useful Electromagnetic Turtle. Very good effect. During your opponent's battle phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard in the battle phase. You can only use this effect of Electromagnetic Turtle once per duel. So it's a very situational card, but it could be very useful as well. Next up, we've got one copy of the Giant Soldier of Stone. 1300 attack, 2000 defense. Just a useful monster to get out on the board, and then you can go into plays a bit later on if you've drawn into, say, Summoned Skull, Dark Magician Girl. Giant Soldier of Stone will provide that defense, hopefully for that turn, for the character deck profile, and yeah, go into better and better moves. Of course, we trump the Giant Soldier of Stone with this man, Big Shield Gardener.
100 attack, 2600 defense. During either player's turn, when this face down card is targeted by a spell card, change this card to face up defense position, and if you do, negate the spell card's activation. So very useful card in certain situations. The only thing is, if this card is attacked, you have to change it to battle. Its battle position to defense to attack, and it's probably going to get wiped off the field. So I'm going to put these guys in tandem, guys, because they're all together. Gamma the Magnet Warrior, Beta the Magnet Warrior, and Alpha the Magnet Warrior. So these guys are needed for Valkyrion. Well, yeah, Valkyrion the Magnet Warrior. They're all useful in their own right. So Gamma's got 1500 attack, 1800 defense. Beta the Magnet Warrior is the one with 1700 attack, 1600 defense, more of an attacking monster, and this one's a more defensive monster as well, Alpha the Magnet Warrior. But cool story about this. This is pretty much way back in the day. I used to own 3 copies of this card from Duelist of the Rose. You got them as a promo card. I don't know what I'd done with them. I'm so gutted. They'll be worth quite a bit of money, those versions of the Magnet Warriors. Of course, we're going to round out the monsters in this deck profile with Queen's Knight and King's Knight. So you got to play your Queen's Knight on the field, and then you've got to normal summon the King's Knight while the Queen's Knight's on the field to get the 3 knights on the field for Jack's Knight. One notable omission before we go forward is we didn't put a Kana Knight Joker in, which is the fusion of the 3 knights, because it didn't feature in Battle City. But let's move on to the spells. Rightio, let's get to the spell cards now, guys. Pretty much we're starting off with Card Destruction. Yugi uses this to great effect in one of the duels in Battle City. Each player discards their entire hand and draws the same number of cards they discarded. So in a character deck though, if you've got a pretty average hand and you've got this in your hand, play this card and you could potentially draw it into a better hand. Run 1 copy of Monster Reborn as well. So Monster Reborn is target 1 monster in either player's graveyard, special summon it. So Yugi will have quite a few powerful monsters probably in the graveyard at some point in a character deck duel. You bust Monster Reborn out and you give yourself a chance of either turning a duel round or consolidating a position. Run 1 copy of Pot of Greed. Complete mystery what this card does. I'm still dumbfounded what it actually does. We run 1 copy of Graceful Charity in the deck, so draw 3 cards and discard 2 cards. So he's got a lot of draw power in that deck now, Yugi. Yugi uses this for great effect in the duel, I think, Clash of the Colosseum between himself and Kyber. So both players reveal their hands and add 1 card from each other's hand to their hand. So very, very useful card. We run 2 copies of Polymerization. So Polymerization pretty much is used for 2 cards that we'll showcase at the end of the deck profile. We run 1 copy of Card of Sanctity. Obviously not the anime effect, or else it would be completely broken, but the effect reads on this card: banish all other cards you control and in your hand, minimum 1 from each, draw until you have 2 cards in your hand. It's not as powerful in the anime. I believe it's 6 cards with this card. We run 1 copy of the Brain Control. So you pay 800 life points, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, take control of that target to the end phase. So say for example, if you're in a character deck duel, you play this, and then you can probably tribute into one of your other monsters. That's probably the purpose of Brain Control. You want to go into bigger and better things, and you don't want to give control back to your opponent of their monster. We run 1 copy of the Magic Formula. Magic Formula is for Dark Magician Girl. Just give it a power boost of 700 attack. And when this card is sent to the graveyard, you gain 1000 life points. So it's got the added bonus there. We run 1 copy of Diffusion Wave Motion. So you pay 1,000 life points and target one level 7 or higher spellcaster type monster you control. So this is Dark Magician effectively. Only that monster can attack, and it must be able to attack all the monsters your opponent controls. So that is a very good card,
and it could be a board wipe for the opponent.
Rounding off the spell cards, guys, so we've got Magical Dimension. So if you control his spellcaster type monster, so again, it suits Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl. Target one monster you control, tribute that target, then special summon one spellcaster type monster from your hand. Then you can destroy one monster on the field. So really, really good card. Rightio, let's get to the traps. Starting off, of course, with the card Mystical Ref Panel. So activate only when a spell card that targets one player is activated. The effect of that spell card is applied to the other player instead. So really useful card. Very expensive card in real life TCG as well. It cost me about 20 New Zealand dollars. Useful trap removal and 7 tools of the bandit. Paying only 1,000 life points is well worth it in a duel of having 8,000 life points apiece. Run a copy of Spellbinding Circle, so it just pretty much does as it says. Spellbounds a monster, can't attack. Very cool card, Magic Cylinder. So Magic Cylinder is when the opponent's monster declares an attack, they target the attacking monster, you negate the attack, and that inflicts the battle damage according to their attack. Mirror Force. Pretty obvious call to put Mirror Force in the deck. Yugi uses this card to great effect in many situations. We had to put Magical Hats in there, so pretty self-explanatory. So you play your Magical Hats, you flip your Dark Magician down, you shuffle. You get 2 cards from your deck, put them on the field, shuffle, and then they're going to try and guess wherever the monster is. He uses this on Dark Magician quite a lot. To round off the traps, we've got just another card removal card, Dust Tornado. So you target one spell trap card your opponent controls, destroy that card, then you can set one spell trap onto the field. Rightio, let's go to the extra deck now, guys. So we've got the very cool Dark Paladin. So Dark Paladin requires Dark Magician and Buster Blader. Attack of 2900, 2400 defense. Really, really good effect. So when a spell card is activated, this is a quick effect too, you can discard one card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. This card must be face up on the field to activate and to resolve. This effect gains 500 attack for each dragon monster on the field and in the graveyard. So if this gets on the field, it's going to be a nightmare for the opponent to get off the field. So the other extra deck card we have in the extra deck is Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast. So that requires Gazelle, the King of Mythical Beast, and Berthamont. So when this card is destroyed, you can target either one of the fusion materials and put it back on the field. So it's a good, useful card.
Rightio, we had that many options in this deck profile that I made a side deck for this as well. So we'll start off with Archfiend Gilfer.
So Archfiend Gilfer's got 2200 attack, 2500 defense. When this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one face-up monster on the field. Equip that target with this card. That monster loses 500 attack while equipped with this card. So it's a pretty useful card. Next up, I have the Red Eyes Black Dragon. Of course, Joey lost this in a duel against Seeker when Seeker was able to summon its Zodiac. Yugi won it back for him by defeating Seeker, and it was used in the duel, I believe, against Merrick in Battle City. I could be wrong there, but pretty iconic card, one of my favourite cards of all time as well. So we run one copy in the side deck, if need be, of Change of Heart. So select one monster on your opponent's side of the field and take control of it to the end. So similar to Brain Control, but you don't have to pay a cost. Of course, we would run one Fiend Sanctuary. So this was given to Yugi before the Merit Duel by Kaiba to try and stop the Winged Dragon Arouse. So you special summon that Metal Fiend token, and if it gets attacked, the opponent takes the damage, pretty much. It's a pretty cool card. Got Premature Burial. So you pay 800 life points, select one monster from your graveyard, special summon it to the field and face up attack position, and equip it with this card. So if this card is destroyed, you destroy the equipped monster as well. Got one copy of Multiply, so you use that with Krivo and you get some tokens onto the board. Run one copy of Double Spell. So Double Spell, discard one spell, then target one spell in your opponent's graveyard. So, like, depending on who you're matching up with, you could get anything kind of valuable there. So we've got the card Defusion. So could be useful with Yugi actually. Like, you could potentially go into a play like Scythe of the Sky Dragon if you use this really correctly. You could say diffuse Chimera the Fly, Mythical Beast, and if you've got another monster on the field, say Giant's Ultra Stone, and you haven't tributed for the turn, they haven't played a monster, play this, bam, into Slicer, and can't let the carnage begin. Got one copy of Soul Taker. So Soul Taker, you target one face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy that target. Your opponent gains 1,000 life points. Run the card Swords of Revealing Light. The reason why I didn't make the main deck is because I don't think we saw it at all in Battle City, but it was seen in this deck, if you know what I mean. But it does make the side deck, and it is a very good addition if you need to add it in to your Battle City character deck profile. So we have the card Light Force Sword. Of course, Light Force Sword was used in the duel against Seeker, and he got lucky Yugi and got one of the Exodia pieces that Seeker needed to be able to draw Exodia. Run one copy of Soul Rope. So Soul Rope's when a monster you control is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard. Except during the damage set, pay 1,000 life points, special summon one level 4 monster from your deck. So Yugi's got a good amount of 4-star monsters. He can play one of the Magnet Warriors, he can play one of the Knights. He's got like Celtic Guardian, Feral Imp, for example. Run one copy of Chain Destruction. So Yugi used this against Seeker as well. So when Seeker, I believe, played the head of Exodia, bam, played Chain Destruction, and Seeker effectively had no way of playing Exodia. Play the Regulation of Tribe in this deck. So you declare a monster type effectively, in any type of that selected monster cannot attack. To keep this card in effect, you must offer one monster from the field as a tribute to keep it on the field. So it could be useful in a certain situation. And to round off the side deck, guys, I put in a copy of Magic Jammer. So Magic Jammer is discard one card from your hand to the graveyard and negate the activation of a spell and destroy it. So hopefully you enjoyed that deck profile, guys. Of course, a couple cards did not still make it, because you're only allowed, well, you can have a maximum of 60 cards in the deck, but I like running 40 card profiles and a 15 card side deck. Like cards like Itself from the Wicked didn't make it. That's just one example. There's some other cards that didn't make the cut as well. But we'll go with the favourite card now from the profile, and it's going to be a very interesting choice from this profile. But for me, in particular, as I scroll through my cards, I quite like the card, can't go past the good old gold card, Scythe of the Sky Dragon. But guys, if we can smash the like button and share with a friend, I very much love putting this Yami Yugi or Yugi Mutou Battle City deck profile together. Of course, the next one will probably be his rival Seto Kaiba. Stay tuned for that. But for now, guys, we'll catch you later.